Didn't have Henry here to keep us on track.
Yeah.
I forgot to call him. He's gonna be mad at me. Takes that serious.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we'll start this meeting with a flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Come Tiger. We're here this morning, Marion County Commission is for the ambulance building discussion for EMS in Hillsborough. Our prices are going up left and right, and I think I don't know, call you the contractor or architect, whichever.
The
both.
project manager at risk,
Yes.
whatever.
So he's here with us today, Cody Nelson and Travis is, and I'm going to turn it over to just exactly let you explain what's happening and see what's going on here.
Right, so basically I wanted to pull something together here with Travis to just discuss, lay out what's happening with material prices, basically. We're seeing pretty significant material price increases, especially on the metal building side of the things. That's where the biggest cost increase is. Generally speaking, across the board, I'm seeing anywhere from 5 to 15% with all the other trades. The biggest has been, or dollar value has been with the supplier. Right now we're seeing for sure approximately $17,000 to $18,000 increase on the cost of the metal building, and that's if we lock it in this week. If we get into next week, it's going to be $31,000 or $32,000 increase. Those guys are getting hit left and right, and for some reason it's drastically escalated in the last week to 2 weeks. So it's just pretty crazy on their side of things, the steel side specifically. So I want to try to get some closure, kind of get you guys to make sure you're comfortable with what you're seeing on the drawings. We still lack the site plan. We're still waiting on the site plan design to be finished, but that doesn't really affect our metal building. The layout of the metal building and everything affects that. So I'd like to get your guys' approval on this floor plan so we can go ahead and commit to a building before it goes up anymore.
With that being said, then I'm going to turn to Travis and have him criticize, ridicule, do anything that's because this is our final stage here of making sure that we're right.
Right.
And if we're not right now, we're going to build it wrong. And so we don't want to. I mean, it really has to be right now for you.
Correct. Well, first, my apologies, but thank you all for coming in today. This kind of hit us upside the head, and it's short notice, but I do appreciate your guys' time. I think it's in due diligence to try and not spend extra tax dollars that aren't needed if we can get this done early. As far as the building layout, it's been a lot of work. We've moved a lot of things around multiple times to try and make things fit, to look at egress for bedrooms, looking at mechanical, trying to keep everything grouped together for cost savings, but yet make it function as we feel it should. If you want to start at the front entry door, we have a public restroom off to the right. Everything's ADA with the restroom. An office for the 705 supervisor is across the way. That basically a vestibule or a breezeway. Then we'll have a secured doorway going into the living area. Once you're into the living area, off to the right is a counter with computer workstation for doing reports, self-study, things of that nature. To your left is the kitchen. One thing that catches a lot of people, there's 3 refrigerators. So you'll see 3 refrigerators, a stove, and a sink. That island will have cabinets, bottom cabinets under it. The 3 refrigerators, we have 3 shifts, 3 people each. That would be 9 people out of 1 refrigerator. Traditionally, the group will go to the local grocery store, buy individually what they want. They may have 2 or 3 shifts worth of food in the refrigerator, so they can cook without having to leave. So that's the reason for 3 refrigerators. Just to the east of that are 3 food lockers. Same reason for your dry goods. Around the corner from that is a utility room that will have a washer, dryer, slop sink. Pretty basic there. And then the 3 bedrooms along the east wall with an exit. So then we come back around, there's a living area, there's kind of that open area in the middle. We foresee a table for tabletop trainings, things of that nature. And then again, what we used to call a day room, but was odd, we couldn't be in it during the day, but your area to watch television, relax, unwind in the evening, that kind of thing, would be right on that south side by the window. Mechanical room, obviously everything we need, that's where electric will be brought into, and everything being brought to there. We'll have a locker room there, individual lockers in it, leading to another bathroom that has a stand-up shower, or a small corner shower, if you will, versus a sit-down shower. But anyway, and that, I think, is pretty basic. I don't think it's over the top design-wise. I don't think it's, we're looking at polished concrete floors, saving some money on flooring that way. A lot of the, and Cody can explain it better, but a lot of all of the cabinetry, that kind of thing, are more of an industrial type.
Commercial grade, there'll be plastic laminate.
Versus your home type.
Right.
Stuff.
Marble tops.
Right, well, I was hoping to save money and give money back, Dave. That's really what my goal was with this, was to certainly come under, but yet be able to stock our building. And as prices escalate, that's becoming more and more difficult. Out in the truck room, we have 3 bays, 2 of them being pull-through, supervisor vehicle in the south one, the main ambulance that will respond being the middle one, and then the very north one is a back-in only. That would be our reserve ambulance, and then a supply room that's tucked into that corner. I've thought of ways to do this differently for cost savings. The supervisor, I currently have 3 people at the Marion Station. They're double bunked in one room, in the upstairs room. It's tight. They complain about it, but we're dealing with it. The supervisor, there have to be 3 people at this station. If I'm gonna build it, that's what I have, is I have 5 people per shift. I don't wanna build a 2-bedroom there and a 2-bedroom here and not have that additional spot. So I think that's the only thing that could possibly change it. That backup ambulance, instead of being at Marion, it'll be in Hillsboro. I have volunteers that still help staff that vehicle, as well as the supervisor. They can make another ambulance to go anywhere in the county out of that station. It will leave an empty bay at the Marion Station. Are there ways to make this? I think for the dollar value, for the dollar amount to add that bay, I think there's more value in having an available ambulance. The likelihood of another available ambulance is in Hillsboro with the volunteers that I have, plus that supervisor.
But that's in today's world. Tomorrow's world changes.
And I understand that. I wish I had a crystal ball, Randy.
Right. Nobody knows.
Right. I feel like when I got here, the plan was to make the staffing and get a supervisor position, and to put a paramedic on 99% of all calls in Marion County. And this lines up with that. Do I foresee that we need to add 2 ambulances in Hillsboro? No, I don't foresee that. And again, none of us can tell the future, but
right.
I think at this point and in the near future, Randy, I see nothing that says this is over the top or that this is insufficient, either one. I think this is,
But you still have, like you said, you'll have a spare bay over here.
correct.
So if things did, you
Still have
you're just
flexibility.
moving a truck, really.
Correct.
You had a population shift.
Sure, if something were to happen and we were to add another piece of equipment, we have an open bay. We can move things around. And again, and we can ask Cody and Joan, I know, well, most of you all know, to add one bay in the grand scheme of the project, to take that away is not a savings worth
Yeah.
much. So we're already,
It's better to overbuild than
right,
under.
and again,
You don't-
that's my
you don't-
balance.
You don't build for today, you build
Sure.
for the
And
future.
that's my difficulty with balancing financial responsibility to the taxpayer is we could put 6 bays on there and figure out a way to justify it, but that's not my intent. I don't want to do that. But I feel I can stand in front of you and tell you, this is what I feel.
Pick another scenario.
Okay?
I wanna take that supply room out for growth later on.
Okay.
10, 20 years from now. What would we tear up?
It's free.
Or is the floor being already
It's all
fixed?
done. It's freestanding. It'll be built
Right.
inside the building.
Okay.
Right. With liner panel.
Okay.
It's a matter of removing the walls and the ceiling and the door and
Okay.
open it up.
Floors drained, still set to drain to the drain?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, this, there's no reason that we shouldn't look ahead.
Sure.
And
I
so-
don't disagree.
Honestly, how long are your ambulances?
They're, I should really know that, Jonah, but I know where you're headed, and you're exactly right. You could double stack an ambulance in there. You just wouldn't be able to work around it, get the cot out, things of that nature. So that's, again, if it's just parking, that 705 vehicle is my old Explorer,
Right.
whatever it is. That's actually a 2 deep. Now that limits your pull through, but in all reality, that's a 2 deep bay. I mean, we're 50 feet, and that
But
SUV is.
I think what happens what is a truck, 4-wheel drive, I mean, we don't know what we're going to, but
Sure.
the ones like we've been running has been tough to get.
Yes,
So if you go to 4-wheel drive,
pickup chassis.
pickup chassis, what's the length? I think that's,
Yeah,
I don't know if that's where Joan is going or not.
I think
but-
you're looking at 21 feet.
So you're still looking double deep.
We can still double deep.
Okay.
I mean,
'Cause those trucks look big.
For park, yeah, they do. And in fact, you think an ambulance is pretty long, but I parked my 4-door pickup next to it and a regular 8-foot bed, and my pickup's longer than an ambulance, and that my pickup's 21 feet.
Yeah.
I got 20, 22, 21, something like that.
Yep, so,
I got a short bed.
yeah. Mine was 19.6 on the short bed. My garage was 20 feet with the hitch, you couldn't shut the door.
If you hit the wall, if you hit the
It was
wall.
against the wall, yeah. So,
I know, I don't want to get super critical or anything, but I don't see anywhere on here where the colors are, the colors of the building.
We haven't made it that far. That doesn't affect the point where we're at right now. The critical part is, you know, the layout and the size and the dimensions and everything, so
Just
that
the
we can.
skeleton is what
Right.
matters.
Right. Because what will happen next is,
There was last minute, I just was trying to call you earlier.
okay.
Dropped the ball on me last night and said, there's a load of skin that came in wrong on a building. And they want 25,000 for it, 20-foot sidewalls, 100-foot by 50-foot building. And I just thought, I don't know what the skin cost for this building. I don't know any of these details, but I do know that the color is kind of beige. So, or like a tan.
And I'll be honest, my intent would be not that you all chose the color of the Marion station, but in my mind, I don't know why I wouldn't go with something like that for uniformity. There's nothing unsightly about this station.
Nobody said ooh.
And so that
Right.
that color would be pretty close to this color, so. And I don't.
That's more in his business. Yeah, I don't know how
We'd
that.
have to figure out some logistics of that, but I mean, there's nothing saying we can't do
Just
it.
trying to look for a potential savings if it doesn't cause a ripple effect. I
Sure.
don't
Is
wanna
that-
cause this,
Is skin and, is that included in the price of the building?
so I don't know if you can separate the skin and see if.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to the supplier
Right.
and see.
Then I wanna know is, are we having a standing seam or just a 3-ridge seam or what?
It's a standard screw down roof.
Standard screw down?
And these are only 20 foot long, so they wouldn't work on the roof.
And I can see this causing headaches, because you're gonna be short a couple, or you're gonna have way too much of something. And
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have to spend a lot of labor.
Well, typically they
re-engineering.
cut the sheets to the exact length. Everything is,
Right.
they don't have to really do any field cutting for your wall panels or your roof panels. All comes to
So
the
if we go
length
jack
that
and
they
labor
set.
clear up, then.
I don't think it'd jack it up, but there would be some additional labor costs. I wouldn't see it as a huge thing, but they'll definitely want some additional money to have to cut panels.
Stick with the order.
Definitely worth the discussion. I
Yes.
mean,
It's
All I
worth
said
looking
was,
at-
all I
worth
said was
looking
I would
into.
pitch it, and
So who has it?
well, I don't know, I'll wait till after. I'll tell Travis.
but
Anybody, I don't know, I don't see how it'd be cost wise. I don't know whether it'd be save us anything. If 25,000, but yet if it's not long enough for the roof, well then you don't want 2 pieces up on the roof because they're gonna cut one, surely for this building.
Is it wall, was it wall and roof or just walls?
Wall as far as I know.
It's just wall, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it, from what I was told, it was just wrong. Didn't match up to their current walls. You know, it's a cosmetic thing.
sure. And I think we're gonna get to that point on our building. I mean, ultimately, I was maybe misunderstood or dropped the ball on this. I wasn't sure where we were at on authority to make purchase.
Well,
And I just don't want to delay that much longer and watch prices.
We dropped the ball too, because we should have just told you to order it.
Well,
I mean,
and again, this is communication.
it
I
wouldn't
didn't-
matter if we had
Well,
that
guys,
deed
it's-
signed or not, they'd
Well,
let us drop the
this
material.
market is so volatile because, you know, one day everything's fine and the next
Yeah.
minute the sky's falling. It's just that, I've never seen the material prices as wild as they are in my 20 years in the business.
That's why it's time to.
I've
lock
seen
it.
copper good.
Yeah, maybe copper, but I mean, we're talking everything across the board. We're not just talking, we're talking copper, we're talking PVC, we're talking lumber, steel, it's wild. I've never seen it.
On a side
So,
note, they're looking at having an agreement for the EMS station property to the commission this afternoon or tomorrow.
So I was at the
Very good.
council meeting last week.
Very good. So, but again, I think that's kind of where I'm gonna ask the commission if we can authorize Cody to place the order. The building is still 30 days.
So we'll have about 4 to 6 weeks to get shop drawings. When shop drawing comes in again, we'll review that and make sure everything fits, and at that time, we'll select colors, and then it'll be 6 to 7 weeks for fabrication.
So we're
We're
ways
about
out.
12 weeks out still.
But
Let me play devil's advocate. If we say we wanna stick with the original budget, what do we gotta do to make it work?
there, and I'm gonna speak for Cody here a little bit, but he's been open book as far as what we're paying and what we're paying him. I can look at the bids that come in from contractors, I can see it all. And you guys are welcome to see it too. I mean, he's upfront, he's open about what we're spending. When he bid and we put this project together, there was a lot put into contingency. The last thing I wanna do is come back and ask for money. I'm a taxpayer too. I've seen how these things snowball out of control. That's the last thing I wanna do. My intention, you can ask Cody, I've told him from the beginning, my intention was to be able to outfit the station, not just build it, but put what we need in it. You gotta buy dishes, you've gotta buy pots and pans.
Got
you
sheets
know.
for the bed.
Yeah, so my real intention was to be able to do that and give money back. And Cody had shot high on a lot of things, not that we were gonna upgrade to granite countertops, but I was gonna be able to come in here and go, I didn't spend it all. And that's what I looked at doing. I mean, we shot high. Our contingency, we've saved some money in other places. We've saved money on the lift station. We've saved money on concrete, you know, scaling back what we're doing. We've saved some money. But basically, all of our contingency just got ate up in one increase.
On one item.
On one item.
Yeah.
And that's not, I don't know, Kent, you know, electrical went up $2,000-3,000.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not a contractor.
Right.
I'm just saying, if I'm stuck, we had a budget.
Sure.
This is what's gonna be. How you gonna get it done?
There's things like liner panel. That's $5,000. Liner panel makes it look nicer in your shop. It's tinned on the inside.
It also preserves your shop.
I understand, but again, versus where else can I cut? I mean,
So there's a couple items that I know off the top of my head that would be bigger, spendy items. We could eliminate some concrete paving on the
Sure.
backside.
I'm on wrong.
And then, honestly, that eave, that 1 foot eave around the outside of the building.
Straight drop walls
If you look,
with gutters.
yeah, if you look at this 1 foot eave, you can kind of see the shadowing.
Right.
That was pretty spendy. We could eliminate that, but
Why are we required to have a public restroom? We don't have one here.
I think it's.
I think ADA. I'd have to
I
check
mean, I
with
can,
Ben.
I
We would
can
have
see,
to
I
ask
can
the
see that
question.
getting
I
used,
don't- I'm
I can
not
see that getting
100%
used once a
sure.
month.
Well, I think you'd be surprised with 3 adults
But, yeah,
in
I
one
mean,
station.
and I
in
hate
the
to say
mornings.
anything like nitpicking, but eliminating a bathroom is not gonna save you, it's gonna save you $500.
right, it won't save
I
as
mean,
much
just
as.
to put it into perspective.
Yeah, I'm just questioning,
yeah,
we don't have a public restroom
A lot
here.
of the plumbing, electrical, HVAC, they're all coming in probably around the 30s to 40, 50 mark. So if you eliminated that whole system, that's all you'd be saving. We're talking about a $16,000 increase, which is half of any one of those bids.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, the eave itself
Yeah.
will save $15,000 to $20,000.
You will not believe what a 1 foot eave costs on a building, wood or metal, either way.
And most of it's labor. but
Labor, yeah.
Because what are the pros and cons of having the?
Yeah, what have we got in?
It's appearance.
It's aesthetics. You can vented. I mean, you can
Yeah.
draw air through your building. I mean, there's
Okay,
different
well,
reasons.
yeah.
Aesthetics being number one. I mean, take a look when you're out driving around in buildings with and without eaves. It truly
It
makes
makes
a
it look
difference.
better, it really
Um,
does.
Yeah.
You just doing the one side or you doing both sides?
It'll be
All the way around, all the way
Yeah.
around.
Yes.
So again, there's a place that could be cut, and it depends on what.
Well, we have to make that choice.
Today. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, again, that's, I think, I don't wanna go on record, Ken, but I really feel like if we can lock this in and Cody can get his prices in, we're gonna work as hard as we can to come in under budget.
You may want to
If
get
there's,
two refrigerators.
if there's things to cut, I'll
I
cut it.
don't think it's possible to come in under budget.
Well,
Just
I-
never see it.
Well, without these price escalations, I'd almost guarantee you we would have. But with this hit on the metal building, it's taking up all of the slack that we were going to utilize our contingency for. It's basically eating that, and I think there is the potential to go that much more over budget. I really don't feel like we're gonna go that much, but there is that potential. We are saving, we've gotten a few bids in that were less than what our dollar budget was. And then, of course, like Trav said, we're saving on the we didn't have to do the lift station, so we're gaining that back. There's some other little odds and ends in there, but like he said, we're gonna work hard to do whatever we can to
Do I need a
Knock
supply
on.
room or do I just need shelves? You know, I mean, there's ways of doing it. Ultimately, I know what's cleaner and more appropriate, but
Secure.
yeah.
Somewhere you gotta have a closed area for your
Sure,
supplies,
yeah.
you can't,
I
you
mean,
can't
there's
just put them
just-
on the shelf.
Plus that creates
I
this.
have two things here, and then I'm probably gonna have to check out of here. Number one, my first question was, that I didn't ask a while ago, was on the restroom, the public restroom,
Mhm.
and I see we only have one restroom. I thought, is there room for a half bath or someplace? Or is what you just was about to say, well, when the crew comes in, they're gonna run for the bathroom, and they're gonna use the public restroom, I think.
Sure.
That's the only other time I know that's gonna be used too, Ken, is what you just.
Well, I
what
just,
you was
I
referring to.
thought maybe it was required as a public building, and then I'm thinking, wait a minute, we only have one out here.
Well, if you
Yeah.
if you allow the public in, I think you're required to have a public restroom.
And I think that was my,
We do have a, I'm not sure
He's
what you're
talking about out here at
about.
the staff building out here.
In Marion,
Yeah.
isn't there a restroom?
Yeah, there's a restroom there, but it wasn't designed as a
Well-
public restroom, it's in the office.
we'll visit later about that.
Yeah. But that was one question, whether, on the restroom, whether we need for a little half restroom, not, well, of course, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
that's
got
all
a
that- that's-
Restroom and a sink, or stool and a sink in it.
That's all that's in there,
Okay.
yeah. It's
So
not
whether
a-
you can,
it's
I
not
don't
a
know how
full-
big that room is, but whether you can cut that, of course, if it's ADA, it's gotta
You're
have.
probably
right.
saving, $1,500 to $2,000 a fixture by eliminating it.
I'm not saying eliminate, I'm thinking of maybe somehow you have another place for rest, of course, I don't see it there, but you'd have to change some things, but I'm
We
just.
can ask the question.
Yeah, just whether you need
If it
that or
is-
not
it
for
is
people,
mandatory.
for the workers.
Sure.
That's one, okay? Number two is that the foot overhang is expensive, but it pays back for aesthetics for the life of the building. If you, I don't think you could come back later and put a 1 foot deal on it and make it look, you know, I think it needs to be done either now or forget it. And I don't really like a building without an eave trough, so I think just gets the water away from the building, and the eaves gets the water farther away. That's part
I
of
mean,
it.
you can't put guttering up without the eaves?
No,
Yes,
you can.
you can. Yes, you can.
It's just, you don't have that overhang. It looks like a pole shed.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
This is on Main Street in Hillsborough, we probably need to make it look nice to keep
Do you
them
know?
happy.
Yeah, but try to sell aesthetics as a dollar value to the taxpayer.
I'll go with
I
the
know.
ventilation for the building.
I
know.
There's ventilation.
Yeah,
right?
ventilation.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I know this really shouldn't be our concern, but do you have any idea what their plans are, like, in the future? Are they gonna put a 1 foot eve building up?
I don't know.
Are we gonna be the goofy looking one, because we got the 1 foot eve, and all their buildings don't?
I think, and again, I don't disagree with Kent, aesthetics isn't why we're here, we're here to,
Yeah.
but we are presented as a professional service, and I don't want it to look like a pole barn. That's ultimately, as far as, I think they would look like the goofy ones without one doing it. I think maybe we set the standard there.
Okay.
So,
Right, okay.
I just, I don't.
I have one final thing that I gotta say, and this is nothing against either one of you two in any way, but the way this is going, this building's going down, we've been sold a bill of goods without improving, asking to have some leadership out of this commission on other buildings we just completed. We've got, so my question to the commission, and just for us, and are we happy with not having somebody on board, not to oversee these guys, but to work with them and make sure that we don't end up with a building that, what we've done before. I hate to say that,
You
but
mean hire,
no, I'm just saying, I'm just going saying, we put one of our department heads in charge before, we didn't end up with what we wanted. And I don't expect that with either one of these two. But I'm just giving you a warning whether you want to put somebody with them so that the commission, and I expect these guys to report to us through this too. And so we can make the final yay or nays, not just Travis. I mean, we put that on the chores of another department head and it didn't come back. It's gonna haunt us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this is a simpler project than that.
well,
This
yeah.
is,
I wouldn't say it's simpler, I would
well,
say
it's
that's,
just a big square box we're filling in.
Yeah.
The other one had lots of angles to it.
this
Is that a good way to
department's
say it?
head is more mature in decision making, I would say.
I'm just bringing it out here.
Well,
to
that-
say-
Randy, I'm happy to work with anybody.
Well, I know
don't-
you are.
I don't,
I know that.
And I don't think oversight by one or two commissioners is a bad thing. Do know that Cody and I certainly have the best interest of taxpayers' dollars. This isn't a 5-year building. This is gonna be there.
And even with,
Our names are gonna be attached to it for a long time.
even with the commission being there, we still didn't get a metal edge strip on our concrete. I mean, in our last building.
Sure.
And everybody knows what that is and it needs to be done, so.
Right.
So, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's a savior. I'm saying it's something that whether this commission wants to live with this, and no turn back. I mean, we need to make that decision too, because I don't think we have. And,
I think there's a lot of detail that can come from Cody and I in the very near future.
Right.
Again, if we can lock in on
right,
purchase of a building, then we can go back to color, we can go to some aesthetics,
Yes.
we can go to some fit and finish,
Yeah.
if you will. The fit and finish is where,
and I'd like to see this commission make that final decision.
Sure.
What I'd like to see. I mean, you guys make it to present it to us.
Right.
I don't know if that's the plan, or am I stepping on your part of the job in any way? Let me know. I mean, that's.
No, I really feel that, you know, the way that we are approaching the design of this facility is gonna help, you know, the way that we are working together. I'm the builder, he's the end user. You know, I can throw my ideas and the things that I see out there, and I think we'll come up with something good. So,
Yeah.
And just from experience, it's way
I
better.
would be glad to work with them. I think that would make the committee feel better. I mean,
Well, I think,
I'm pretty much on call. I can drop what I'm doing and go.
I think it's in
90% of the time.
it's in a central location in Marion County. Any of us could get there
Good stop in.
quickly.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you want, I don't think it should be just limited to one.
Yeah.
well, and we can have some, you know, maybe some on-site meetings with you guys to
Just
walk
that-
through
that's-
on
that-
a
I think
periodic
that's-
basis.
that's
I like that
Because
idea.
putting your eyes on things does
Yes.
a lot better than seeing it on paper.
Yes.
We can actually see the drain in the floor.
Right.
Well, by then, if you don't like it, it's too late. That's the problem.
Yeah.
sure, the drawing has its place
Well,
too.
to a
so-
certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you guys are seeing things at a certain age, there's still some time to make changes on the fly. You know, once it's in place, then we're late.
We was almost here to this stage with that building that I'm respectfully talking about, but it looked good on paper, but it didn't serve what the place needed. Like I'm asking, does it serve you?
Sure.
And so there are.
And Randy, I don't believe mine's super complex, and
No, it
that's
isn't.
what Dave
It
was
isn't,
getting
and
at.
I understand that.
But ultimately, I feel that it serves the needs. I don't think it's anything over the top, but yet I don't.
No.
And that's basically what I want to
Right.
leave it with.
I only had one question, why is the mechanical room clear to one side, set in the middle? But I'm sure there's a good reason for that.
Well, it's close to our
Okay.
utilities.
Where everything's
You know, where
outside.
everything's coming. No,
Okay, well, see, I knew-
it's right next. We aren't really extending much into the ambulance bay.
Yeah.
You know, most everything happens right there at that kitchen and those two
Yeah,
restrooms.
my experience is from building a house,
Sure.
you put it in the center so you can go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's short
The other thing,
distance.
Dave, is I think I told you once, but about the utility easement is coming up to on our south side of the building too, if I remember right. And from the way the architects, not the.
Everything is.
The engineer sort of told me over there where this easement's coming in, so your sewer and everything's gonna be coming in on this south side of the building here. And probably gas will be coming in from that too, so.
So what action is needed today?
Huh?
We need to
What
approve,
action?
We need to
to
approve
order that building you see right there.
Yes.
Okay, I would make that motion.
I have a motion on the floor
Is
for
that-
Dave Mueller to.
Yes, that includes it as designed.
Are you talking about with the increase in place?
Yes.
That will-
Okay.
It's gonna be 30,000 next week.
Open it to discussion for about,
Did you
talk
get a
about the
second?
increase.
Get a second?
That, not yet, I haven't. I'm just opening it up because that's the increase of somewhere around 16 to 18,000, what you're looking at. And any discussion on that?
I'm just struggling with the eve. I know you want it, I just, if we can make up for it. I don't know, I don't know. All the other buildings I see, you know, over there.
I think we can make
don't see
I
any
think we can
eaves.
make an adequate facility with the initial estimate we received. It'll serve just as many years, just.
Okay, then any other discussion, any other viewpoints there that anybody wants to bring out? Otherwise, I'm gonna ask for a second. If I hear none, no other discussion, I'm gonna ask for a second. Is there a second to Dave Mueller's motion?
I would second it with the ease on it, this, as the plan state in front of us right now.
Okay, I have a second to the, with the, at what kind of cost? With the inflational cost? That's what Dave's asking, Dave Mueller is asking for
Yeah.
the improved
Right now,
inflation
It's gonna take all the budget, we don't have any contingent,
contingent, so.
so it's gonna be up to these two guys.
Second, okay. So you're second his motion with this?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a second with the building eaves and the inflational cost of somewhere between 16 to 18,000, am I correct? Okay.
Yeah, can I make a couple comments about that?
Yes.
Okay. I feel the guys have done a fantastic job of putting together a good plan. They've looked at all the alternatives. They've looked at cost-cutting measures. It's functional, it's not overbuilt, but yet there's room for growth. He offered us an option for significant savings with the eave. In my mind, I think the ventilation and aesthetics combined is worth the investment at this point if you're looking at a building for 40, 50 years.
Okay.
So I believe if it's worth the extra money, I'm in favor of doing it right.
Okay.
This increase was unforeseen. But if we wait another week,
It'll be
we're
unforeseen
really
more,
gonna
yeah.
we have to act today. I'm in favor of moving forward with the plan as presented with the increase.
Okay, final time here. I do have a motion by Dave Mueller, second by Dave Crowfoot, to go ahead with this building with the 1-foot eaves and the additional increase of between 16 and 18,000 for this building. Second by Dave Crowfoot. So I will ask each commissioner by name, their vote, aye for in favor, and a nay for not in favor. So Commissioner Mueller, you made
Aye.
a motion, aye. Commissioner Crowfoot,
Aye.
aye. Commissioner Becker,
Nay.
nay. Commissioner Gehring,
I think this is important enough service that I'm gonna go with an aye.
and Commissioner Dalkey, aye. And the following comment is made that if we don't get a piece of ground over there in Hillsborough, I'll donate the ground for this building to go on in the city of Peabody. Just thought I'd throw that in.
I'll
Chairman
match it in
Dalkey,
Tampa.
I did, while you were out of the room, we received that they should have that agreement to us.
Okay.
Today, this afternoon or tomorrow.
Okay.
If they could have it
All
over
right.
the next.
I do want a piece of ground. I want it in Marion County and no strings attached, just like we've talked. And so we get this thing going and get her under
And
control.
one thing I'd like to throw out there too, just so you guys know more about how this will take place. So we're committing to these guys right now, down the road, so they go into engineering, they start the drawings, they don't actually start production until we approve those drawings. So there's a point in time where we can pull the plug and we're only out the engineering cost of the building, so.
Okay.
Cool.
Re-engineered metal buildings is
I'm gonna
not,
turn the
it's
meeting
not
over to
like
Commissioner Crowfoot. He's vice chair. I've got to go.
re-engineered buildings is not like regular engineers. That it doesn't come with a huge fee. So, thank you. Just to back you
Thanks
up.
for your time, Ram. Anything else for me? I appreciate your guys' EMS week proclamation and goodies.
And the new building.
Yeah.
Okay, having a good week.
Yeah. Well, other than the football.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
If there's no other comments, I guess we'll adjourn the meeting at 9:40. And And we'll meet again next Monday. Before we know.
Are we gonna meet this afternoon?
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry, Dave.
There we are.
Are you done recording, Gina?
Almost.
Careful. The red lights, the red
I didn't know,
lights.
oh!